if you're like me, you love oracle decks, tarot cards, and today I have, for the very first time on my show, something quite different. I purchased a oracle deck a while back that I just adored, and I went on the lady's website and checked her out and looked at her Instagram, and I was like, I would love to have her on the podcast. So I sent across an invitation and amazingly she accepted. I always get so thrilled when guests accept my invitation to come and chat with me on the show. And so this lady, her name is Jessica Roux, and she created this beautiful deck called the Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. Um, and this is what we're going to be talking to Jessica today, and we're going to be unpacking her inspiration behind this deck. She's also got a new tarot deck out of the same theme, the Woodland Wardens theme. So beautiful animals and plants and nature, and they are just beautiful cards, deeply, deeply symbolic, and just a pleasure to work with. So we chat all about that, all about her work and her inspiration and her love and respect and adoration for animals and nature. And she doesn't just do oracle decks, she does a lot of other stuff as well. She lives in Nashville, Tennessee. But I thought it's such a beautiful conversation, and I thought, what better way to end season 3 of the podcast than this conversation with Jessica? It's like 3 of my favorite things: animals, nature, and spirituality, right? So, and it's an uplifting show, an uplifting conversation, an inspiring conversation. Hopefully it will help you to feel a deeper connection and reverence for animals and nature. And Christmas is just around the corner, right? So if you're looking for gift ideas for others, or maybe you want to send a few hints about gifts for you, this, one of Jessica's decks could be right up your alley, or up someone, or a friend or family member could be the perfect gift for them. So check out her work at shopjessicaroux.com. She is on Instagram. I think it's Jessica S. Roux, but you've got the links to that in the show notes, so you can delve into and experience more of her work. We start off the show with a bit of fun. This show it's a conversation, but it's also a bit work. It has a bit of a workshoppy feel to it. And we start off with a card pull from the Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. So that's a bit fun. It's a card pull for everyone, and I take you through that whole process, and I give a little insight into how I'd interpret it. Then we hand over to Jessica, and then we go and read the description from the guidebook. So I hope you enjoy that. It is an episode where there's a lot of visual aspects to it. So if you can watch this on video, that's strongly recommended, but it certainly, you're going to get that value by listening to it as well, but you just won't have that visual impact. So given that this is the last episode of season 3, I guess I also want to take this opportunity to say, I say it at the end of every episode, but just to bring in this bookend and hallmark it is so much. Thank you so much for being here through season 3. There's always that kind of thing. Am I going to keep the podcast going? Does it still have legs? Are enough people interested in it? And I think that's part of the reason why I like to have breaks. It gives me that opportunity to reflect, to plan for the next season if there is going to be one. Also allows me to dive deeper into some other projects that I've got, sitting there that I've either neglected or that I want to begin. So I'm excited I love doing these shows for you. I love offering this podcast as a free, accessible resource for you. But it does take a lot of time and effort. It is always at the back of, not always, but it is sometimes at the back of my mind, is this the best thing to be doing, spending my time on? And there's, various factors that go into that, but I do love doing it. I especially love the guest conversations because I get to learn so much and I get to speak to people like, today's guest, Jessica, that if I didn't have the podcast, I wouldn't be having this conversation with her, and there's been so many other amazing guests as well that, but for the podcast, I wouldn't have that conversation. So I do love doing it, but it does take a lot of time and effort. And like everything that I do, that everything that is produced through my businesses, it is all me. So that's why sometimes there won't be a show, and then sometimes there'll be a whole series of shows. So, yeah, so in that vein as well, I would like to take this opportunity, given that this is a free, accessible resource for you in its third season. I would so much love your support, and the best way that you can support me is by following, subscribing to the show, and leaving comments on Spotify and YouTube, rating the show on Apple. Your support is so meaningful. um, you know, I'm not paying for advertising the podcast or anything. So it's completely reliant upon my own organic promotion of the podcast, to my newsletter, to my Animal Lovers Tribe, to, onto my social media. And then it's up to the algorithms of YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, what have you. And the thing that helps mostly with that is your interaction with the show, you're listening to the show, tuning into the show regularly, commenting on the show, sharing the show. All of those things really help me to continue to produce this show for you. So I also want to say before we get into today's show, I hope you've enjoyed this season. We'll be back. I'm planning to have a season 4. Um, and that would start probably in January, late January 2025. You will know through my emails, through my socials when that is coming. Obviously, if you are following or subscribing to the show, you will get the first episode of season 4 showing up in your feed. If you've got ideas on topics or guests for season 4, I would love to hear from you, because sometimes that's a reason why there's not a show, because I can't think of what I want to talk about or what guests I want. So I always love getting your ideas. No idea what season 4 will look like. I have not done any preparation or anything, but expect that January 2025. In the meantime, what are you going to do without the podcast? Well, I'm sure you haven't listened to every single episode. So, as I said, there's 3 seasons. There's so much good stuff in there, and covering all aspects around animals, whether it's pets, whether it's farm animals, whether it's wild animals, whether it's the politics of animals, the spirituality of animals, the, physical, holistic care and support of our companion animals. There's so much. There's so much there for you. So enjoy catching up on that over the season break. And again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you tuning in to this show, especially if you're one of those ones who tunes in to each episode. Thank you so much. So I will also take this opportunity, if it feels weird because I'm saying this in early October, to wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a beautifully enriched and peaceful and joyous festive season. I hope the end of the year brings you some peace and some closure, and an opportunity for deep, deep rest and restoration and replenishment, and just enjoy. Okay, so Jessica, who is Jessica? Well, you know, she's the creator of this Woodland Wardens Oracle decks. I've already mentioned that, but she's a best-selling illustrator, author, and gardener. As I mentioned, she's just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. She loves exploring in her own backyard and being surrounded by an abundance of nature. She uses subdued colors and rhythmic shapes and flora and fauna and intricate details reminiscent of old world beauty in her beautiful creations. She's best known for her books Floriography, an illustrated guide to the Victorian language of flowers. We talk about that today. Ornithography, an illustrated guide to bird law and symbolism. The Wheel of the Year. We didn't talk about this one. Damn it. The Wheel of the Year, an illustrated guide to nature's rhythms. I'm literally going to go once I finish sharing this little message with you to go to her website to take a look at that. That was written by someone else, written by Fiona Cook. So she illustrated that. She's got her folklore field guide series and obviously her Woodland Wardens decks. She's created illustrations for the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Adobe, the New Yorker, and many others. With a deep connection to nature and animals, her work is just glorious. I'm sure you will love it as much as I do. Um, and I hope you love this conversation as much as I loved having it. And I'm pausing now because Matilda hasn't been on the show in a while. And I did in a while. I asked her today if she would come and be on the show, and she wasn't. But she's just jumped up on the deck. Matilda, come and say hello. I said to her, the people want to see you. And here she is. Hello, darling. You got an end of your season message for the people? Keep listening to Mummy's show. Oh, well, thank you, darling. So she does not want to be held, but there you go. There you go. My beautiful darling Matilda. She's growing up so fast. Thank you, darling. And thank you and enjoy the last episode for season 3 of the Natural Animal Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Natural Animal Podcast. I'm your host, Ruth Hatton. I'm an animal naturopath and big animal lover. Here on the show, we share thoughts and ideas about the nature of animals, their preferences, their behaviors, their ways of being to engender a greater understanding, respect, compassion, and love for all animals, companion, farm, and wild. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Hello, Jessica. Welcome to the Natural Animal Podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You are my very first, what would I call you? Oracle deck, tarot deck creatrix that I've had on the
Yeah.
show. So it's fun to do something a bit different.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get to chat about the whole world of tarot and oracle decks and all of that.
And your beautiful creations and your beautiful connection with the animal kingdom.
Mhm.
And those of you who tuned in, I do encourage you to watch the video version of this, whether that's on YouTube or Spotify if the tech works. I did have 2 episodes ago where I uploaded the video and it had a little glitch and Spotify didn't like it and so didn't share the video. It didn't even post my episode on the Spotify platform. Whereas YouTube was fine with the glitch. So apparently different tech systems. But anyway, I do encourage you to watch the video version of this because we are talking to you, Jessica, I do have one of her beautiful decks in front of me. Well, I have 2 of her beautiful decks in front of me, but one is in digital form and one is in physical form. So we're going to have a bit of a play today. So we'll be able to get to see at least one of the cards. I'm going to do a card pull in a sec. So if you want to be able to see the visual of that, check the video version of this. Now, as I said, well, I don't need to tell you because I'm just remembered. I'm just going to probably edit that bit out. So sharing, Jessica, your Woodland Wardens Oracle deck. This is why Jessica is on the show today, because I bought this deck not a long time ago. I would say 2, 3 months ago, but I'd seen it before. Like I'd seen it round the internet, round social media, and I'd kind of like, oh, I want that. But there wasn't this kind of like, I want it now. And then I saw it somewhere on Instagram again. And I don't know whose account it was, what card it was, but I was like, I have to get that deck. So it was probably that day I was like, right, dong, 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 order. And then it arrived. And so I thought, Jessica, we could
Mhm.
start by doing a little card pull. Um,
Yeah.
and even the back design of the like, come on now. And if you are not watching the video, it's got a beautiful olive green, like the color of your doors in the room that you're in.
Yeah. Very, very similar.
Like before we pressed record, I did comment on the similarities with the color scheme
Yeah.
with the cards and your beautiful home, that
Yep.
beautiful room. I mean, that green is just beautiful. And
Yeah.
green
Yeah. It's
is
one of
the
my
color
favorites.
of the heart chakra. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I
It's my
am
favorite
wearing green
color.
today too. It's your favorite color.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
I should know that
absolutely.
because you've also got a green cushion there.
Yeah.
But before we even look at some of the cards, it's like even just that, yeah, that back, you're gonna
Mhm.
with cards, you've got to have all the elements to really make that deck sing. And when
Yeah.
I opened that, I mean, I love nature, but I also love it's like the green and the gold,
Mhm.
which just looks beautiful. And it's so, it's so intricate. What am I showing at the back, Rooster? It's so,
Yeah.
so intricate. And just you just look at it and it's like, oh, this looks lovely. And the box is lovely. Yeah, and you've even got that on the inside.
Yeah, on the inside, yeah, the inverse.
There. On the like side.
Hmm.
Oh, it's just beautiful. And that was Max that just walked by then. So I
Yeah.
thought we could do a little card pull for all of
Yeah.
us, for the collective. And we will ask Spirit for, let's ask for something that is relevant to us two, right now as we're
Hmm.
recording it, but
Yeah.
also relevant to people, the people, when they tune in to this show, whether that is when it goes live straight away, or even if it's like a year or two down the track. Now, people, you might be thinking, how can you how can you arrange for that? Well, because in the spirit world, there is no such thing as time or space.
Hmm.
You would know this, I'm sure, Jessica. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you can, we think in beyond the human concepts, the human linear concepts of, it's got to be this way and that way, and there's time and there's space. Well, won't that card pull only be relevant right now? No, because spirit is not bound by human constructs. So that is why a lot of it is about your intention. So even though
Hmm.
I'm supposed to be asking you questions, I'm doing a whole like teaching on energy here, but you know,
I love it. Yeah.
setting the scene, it comes down to a lot of it comes down to your intention, and trusting that spirit has that capability. And when I say spirit, you can interchange that with whatever you believe in: God, source, spirit, universe, the divine, goddess, whatever. It's all one and the same. It's just different names for the same things, like they say. And I will say it is Friday when we're recording this. Friday is the day of Venus. I do have an Isis statue on my altar over there. And, it's like Isis, she of 1,000 names. She is known as Isis. She is known as Venus. She is known as Hathor, Sekhem. It's the same with spirit, right? It's however you want to refer to that consciousness. And consciousness is another word that people use if they feel more comfortable with that. So we have that belief, we have that trust, and we set that intention. So I'm setting that intention. I'm actually also, whilst I'm shuffling the cards, setting the intention that these cards are being cleared of energy, any negative energy. Not that there should be any negative energy in here. um, but setting that intention as I shuffle these cards that I'm clearing their energy so we can get a clear reading. But yeah, also setting that intention that it is going to be relevant whenever anyone tunes into this episode and experiences and receives the card as we receive it very, very soon. So, and let's just say we're going to do a simple one card pull. And what word shall we use for identifying spirit? I'm going to use the divine today. Like every day is different for me. So I'm going to ask the divine, what does the divine wish for us to know today? Whether that's today or today for when you, audience, are tuning in. Uncross my legs. We don't want to block any energy. Feet firmly on the ground, connecting to the mother. Imagining, because obviously my feet are on the floor, not on the ground, not on the earth. And let's see what comes through. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I feel a bit nervous. I should show what I'm doing. So this is how I do it.
Yeah.
Everyone does it differently.
Hmm.
I shuffle them and then I just fan them all out. And then I just go look at them. Which one am I drawn to? And I'm drawn to this one hiding here. Da da da. What is it? What is it? Ooh, the wolf and rose hip guardianship.
Ooh, that's such a good one.
It's such a beautiful card. So I would say,
Hmm.
before we even go to what the book description is, I'm going to do a little thing,
Yeah.
and then I want you to do a little thing, and then we're going to go to what the book says. Um,
Yeah.
so the wolf, I would see that as most of my audience are dog and cat lovers,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And most people have dogs versus cats, right?
Hmm.
So there is that kind of, I feel, that connection there to the audience with the wolf. The rose hip, I would also see that as rose hip is something that I use in one of the products that I sell for animals. And it is something that's in a lot of dog supplements, actually, rose hip.
Hmm.
And then the whole guardianship, like I would see that as, I asked specifically of the divine, what does the divine want us to know? And I would interpret that as the message from the divine is that we are taken care of. We have our protective guardians out there in both physical and spirit form. And even the wolf is, I see the word that comes through to me now is protection.
Hmm.
And the wolf in that is, he's kind of like standing on his front feet and he's kind of got his mouth is slightly open. It's a slight kind of like, kind of like a snarl.
Yeah.
He is there and he is protecting us.
Hmm.
And so I want to turn to you, Jess, as the designer of this card, because obviously of all the
Yeah.
cards, we've got this plant and animal symbology happening here.
Hmm.
When you were designing this, and it might have been changed now as you look at this today with fresh eyes, what is coming through for
Yeah.
you?
It's interesting because I wrote this, I think, back in 2021 or 2020. And so it's been like a few years since I've even read the guidebook entry
Yeah.
for it. And it's been even longer since I wrote it. So coming and looking at it now, when I think about rose hips, I'm thinking about food in the winter, food for birds throughout like a time of scarcity. And then also like the thorns of a rose and things like that protect the plant from harm. And then we
Yeah.
have this wolf, and I love this imagery because he's in motion, right? And so there's kind of like a fluidity to the movement, and he's got a little bit of a snarl, but he's not like he's defensive, right? But he's not attacking.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think it's like an interesting kind of position for him to be in.
Mm.
It is when I was designing all the cards, it's so hard on the long vertical format to have sort of a flowing image. So I'm very happy with how that one turned out. And so yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of interesting how the rose hips sort of frame the wolf around it and offer that kind of guardianship and protection around him as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. It's
Yeah.
like he is protected by, oh, he is protected by the rose hip, but he is
Mhm.
also the protector.
Yep.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add, like in terms of relevance to pulling this card now, or would you like me to go directly to the book?
I think that's probably it. Yeah. I mean, I'm like honestly curious what I've since it's
Do
been
you
so long.
remember
Yeah.
what you wrote in 2021? So this is the
No
beautiful
idea.
guidebook that comes with the cards. And you've got Roman. It was so funny when I was using this outside one day, and my neighbors, there are two children, and I
Hmm.
said, "Would you like me to pull a card for you?" And they're like, "Yes." Um, and they didn't know Roman numerals, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Aren't you taught Roman numerals in school these days?"
Yeah.
No, and I'm like, "Oh, goodness,
Yeah.
sacrilege."
I
So it's like
have an
forgetting that
intern who,
ancient
yeah.
information,
Yeah.
like, come on, you've got
Yep.
to know Roman numerals. And this is 25.
Right. Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
go
I have an
to,
intern who works with me and she came by and she was looking through the deck and she was like, not that many people know Roman numerals anymore. And I was like, I did not realize that until I put them on the deck, and got that feedback. But she was really into it and she knows them really well. So she's great.
yeah, it's crazy. It's like I
Hmm.
mean, it's happened all throughout history, the
Yeah.
the forgetting of languages. And if we
Hmm.
don't
Yeah.
use them, we forget them. But
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
generation, we were taught Roman numerals. Where were
Hmm.
we?
Yep.
Probably in mathematics, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Numbers.
Yeah.
So here we go. The meaning of this card, as written by Jessica in 2021, the wolf travels in a pack, protecting its family and community. Like the hound, the wolf signifies loyalty and commitment. Relatedly, the rosehip is a source of food, but also a symbol of love, as it is the berry produced by the rose plant. Its combined associations with nourishment and affection make it an emblem of familial love and care. And then you're going to whether you do an upright or reverse.
Hmm.
So it was pulled out upright, but that's because I mine are almost always upright because when
Yeah.
I don't like them being disorganized.
Yeah.
It's only if something jumps out and it's in reverse, and I'm like, oh, okay. So upright, you are called to be a mentor. Who among your pack might need your counsel? Taking a leadership role in community activism is another way to lead like the wolf. And that's interesting because by the time this episode goes to air, the previous episode was about animal advocacy and activism.
Hmm.
So, revisiting that or listening to that episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, this could be a prompt for you in terms of taking a leadership role in some form of community activism relating to animals.
Yeah.
And reverse, because I think it's also interesting to read the reverse as well, because sometimes even if you don't pull it
Hmm.
reverse, it still has meaning for you. Um,
Yeah.
you are at a crossroads and in need of guidance. Advice from a trusted friend or family member may help you find your way. And then you've got some little prompts. Whom can
Hmm.
I mentor? How can I be a leader in my community? Whom do I turn to for help? And I like that, some decks, they have really, really long descriptions.
Hmm.
And that can be great, but sometimes I just want to do a quick card pull. I don't want to read like 5-page description.
Yeah.
I don't have time for a 5-page description because then I want to
Yeah.
like unpack all of that.
I know. Yeah. And it gives you like just enough to think about as you go about your day and, see
Yeah.
where it might come up throughout your daily activities. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure in the book, I mean, most deck writers do encourage this to don't
Mhm.
be bedded to the description in the guidebook, to actually look at the
Yeah.
card first, as we did, and do your own kind of like interpretation. What does that bring up for you? What does the wolf symbolize for you? What does rose hip symbolize for you? What do the
Hmm.
colors symbolize for you? Because all of these things are going to be relevant and it makes the
Yeah.
interpretation more individual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So,
Yeah. I always like to remind people like when you're going about your day or your week and you pull a card for that amount of time, think about where that symbol is popping up. Like, where are you seeing wolves? Where are you seeing roses or rose hips? And just keeping that in the back of your mind because that might be something that's calling out to you.
yeah, or the themes of guardianship,
Hmm. Yeah.
protectorship,
Yeah.
mentoring. Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like you can do a day. I find that you can do a daily card pull, but I
Hmm.
think you're more likely to like forget about it because it's only a day.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pick one for a week and if you
Hmm.
display it, you'll be like, and you get that reminder, it's like, oh yeah. And then it's just more at the forefront of your mind. And then you can really
Yeah.
like inhabit those messages and build on those messages and get more from those messages than just like, oh, I just pulled that today. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I write mine sometime, usually in my journal if I've done a card pull, but then it's like, am I opening the journal and reading it? No.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, what did that actually mean in that moment? But then it's kind of
Hmm.
like, well, you can also look at it as I got what I needed to in that moment and
Mm.
now it's integrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have to have that logical attention to it, if that makes sense, all the time.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's the Oracle deck. Well, that's one card of the Oracle deck, but oh, and look at the cat.
Oh.
The cat and
So sweet.
lavender.
Hmm.
Independence, of course.
Yep.
I'll just do I'll just show a few so people, oh, the
Yeah.
ram and dahlia. I'm an
Hmm.
Aries, so I love ram.
Oh, me too.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Red, look,
Yep.
the hair. Yep, yep.
Yep. Yeah.
And the sheep and blackberry I also love.
Mhm.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
The horse and bluebell. Oh,
Yeah.
they're just so you've got so many different animals. The coyote, the bee, lizard,
Hmm.
bobcat, the hawk. I'm going to share one more. What's something that's not so common? Oh, that's so nice. I'll share. I mean, it is common, but I don't care. I love it. The ladybug and sweet pea.
Yeah.
They're
That's a
just so
good one.
beautiful. Like
Yeah.
you are so talented. I wish I could create
Thank you.
this. Like I'm just like, oh my God. So can you tell us your inspiration behind
Hmm.
oh, that's what I was going to say. You do also have the tarot deck for Woodland Wardens, which
Hmm.
we'll speak to soon. There is obviously it's tarot versus oracle, so there's differences, but there's
Hmm.
also slight some other differences too. But with the
Yeah.
oracle deck, what was your inspiration
Hmm.
for this deck?
Yeah. So this all started, I think it was back in 2017, and I went on an artist residency to Colorado. And it was put on by this gallery and these two gallery owners who were just amazing. And had both been reading tarot since they were really young.
Mm,
And we were, kind of snowed in and just sitting around a fire. And they said to us, "Do you guys want to learn how to read tarot?" And I've always wanted to know, I've always loved the symbolism of the cards and I loved kind of looking at the pictures, but I didn't really know history behind it. I didn't really know what all of the cards meant, how you got reverse readings and things like that.
yeah.
And so they really walked us through all of it. And I loved the idea of looking at a picture and interpreting it. It just took me back to like art history in
Mm,
college. And,
yeah.
when you just look at a picture and you pick out, little things about it, little symbols that are snuck in there by the painter. And I think that's like really what drew me to it. So I was like, I want to make something like that, but I didn't feel like I knew enough about tarot.
Mm,
And so I started kind of sketching out general ideas for what a deck could be. And this just kind of came to me as just taking one animal and one plant and kind of thinking about things like folklore, mythology, history, and those sorts of themes between both the plant and both the animal, and kind of uniting them to try to get a deeper more significant meaning from
Yeah.
things being combined.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where it started. It was just, I didn't think I knew enough about tarot, but I knew I wanted to make something. Like I had ideas and things that I wanted to express. And so an oracle deck is just so much more approachable because it's fewer cards and it can be sort of whatever you want as the author and creator, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
You don't
yeah.
have that restriction of
Mhm.
what the tarot is. Like you can't
Yes.
it's not tarot if it's not tarot.
Yeah,
Right? It's got
there
to
doesn't have
follow
to be a
that.
structure.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, so and obviously now since then you've learned about tarot because now you have
Yeah.
the tarot version, which is new.
Mhm.
Um,
It is. Yeah.
so why? And you explain, I can't remember if you explain it like this in the Oracle. Is it the
Mhm.
same? No, you've done it differently. Very good.
I have.
Um,
Yeah.
but you have this, and even though I'm going to jump over to the tarot for a second,
Mhm.
just because your introductory paragraph, like I've highlighted that I want to read it, and then I'll get you to like
Yeah.
expand on that. So, Jessica, in the Tarot of the Woodland Wardens, in the introduction, says, I've always felt more comfortable around animals than I have around other people. Yes. As a painfully shy person, I'd much rather spend my time at a party petting a dog, than making small talk with strangers. Who can relate to that?
Yeah.
I prefer quiet afternoons in the garden to nights out, tending to the plants and finding ways to invite wildlife into my peaceful place of respite from the chaos of daily life. It's no surprise to me that my artwork focuses more on animals than human figures. After all, my artwork is a reflection of the things I love, the things I find most beautiful, and how I understand and interpret the world around me. Nature provides an endless and bountiful supply of inspiration for my work, and there's nothing I'd rather draw and write about than our furry, feathered, and even scaly friends. Beautifully written.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
so tell us a bit about this connection to animals and nature that you
Mhm.
have, when it started, and what that connection means for you.
Yeah, I think ever since I was really young, I just always felt more connected, I think, to animals than to other people around me. Like I had a lot of trouble like making friends and relating to other people. But
Mhm.
I'd come home from school and my dog would always be there, my cat would be there, and they were comforting and loving in a way, where you didn't have to say anything. Like there was nothing really to be said. I'm like tearing up now thinking about it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like this deep understanding where they know how you're feeling and they're there to comfort you and play with you and make you feel loved and special. And yeah,
Mm. Yeah, no,
yeah, yeah.
it's worthy
It's
of the
sometimes it's tough
tears.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very, very emotional, I think, for me. When I was like working on this deck too, I had recently been diagnosed with autism.
Hmm.
And so it's like I feel like pieces were starting to like get back into the puzzle, right? Understanding
Yeah.
of self and identity and things like that. And so, I feel like that's a struggle that like a lot of autistic women do have is trouble relating to other people, but animals, it's easy, right? It
Mm.
just comes naturally, and it seems like we just have this deep understanding between us that is a struggle elsewhere, to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I a lot of people, I mean, most like, diehard animal lovers feel
Mhm.
it, and that's the reason why
Yeah.
we are diehard animal lovers. And it's like me, it's like I cannot live without cats. I
Yeah.
have to have cats in living,
Yep.
sharing my life with me.
Hmm.
Because one, I just resonate with the feline at a very deep level. I
Yeah.
feel like I am like a cat in human form. Like if you think about the characteristics of the cat,
Hmm.
fiercely independent, doesn't like, doesn't really like change, is
Hmm.
wary of, strangers, is very also, I can't think of the other things, but just that very, don't like loud noises.
Hmm.
I'm just like, yep, yep, yep. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I think I'm a cat. I think I'm a cat.
Yeah.
But it means that I can relate very well to the feline because I understand. Like with it, when there's a loud noise, I react. My cats react, and I'm like, I know it's
Yeah.
so loud. Let's shut all the windows and turn on the music.
Yeah. I
Music
love that.
to
I'm
sleep.
exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just go and hide away and cozy up together,
Hmm.
and let's just hide away from the world. And I don't want to go out today. I just want to stay here with you guys. And this is where I
Yeah.
feel the happiest and the safest. And safety is a really
Mm.
big part of it because with
Yeah.
people, people can be horrible. People can
Hmm.
be harsh.
Yeah.
People can be judgmental. You think about as a kid, teasing
Hmm.
and bullying. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and even then as an adult, like if you just go on social media and
Hmm. Yeah.
the anger and the hatred that is there, and it's like, well, I don't get that from my cats. All I
Yeah.
get from my cats is love and attitude. They're not
Yeah.
just balls of love. They're not just love machines. Like they have their own personalities and needs and desires and wants and attitudes. And, no, don't pick me up because I'm busy playing. Leave me alone. Yes, you can cuddle me now. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
You know, um, and but it's just like it's the unconditional love that animals offer, and
Hmm.
that creates a feeling of
Yeah.
safety. And that is why
Yes.
people like us,
Hmm.
we turn more to, it's like you say, like I wouldn't say I'm painfully shy. I can be shy,
Hmm.
but I also appear
Yeah.
on the exterior to be outgoing, but that is more of a facade. Like I
Right.
can step
Right.
into that. I can step into that public
Yeah.
persona, but me at home, my preference is I don't want to, or if I'm out in a new environment, I don't necessarily feel like I want to go and speak to all those people. I'm not like that kind of person. I want to go and speak to everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you can come and speak to me.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, I'd much rather spend my time at a party petting a dog than making small talk with strangers. Like small talk, boring.
Hmm.
Quiet
Yeah. I
afternoons.
think my cat has more interesting things to say, you know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's something that a lot of people who listen to this episode will resonate with because it is we have that feeling of safety,
Yeah.
um, and trust and love and warmth,
Hmm.
and particularly people who have experienced trauma at the hands of other human beings
Yeah.
where again that safety that they feel with animals they can be, and this is the other thing as well, we can be who we really are with animals. We don't
Yeah.
have to hide anything because there's no fear
Right. Yeah, there's
judged.
no masking, like no putting on a facade for them. They accept you for who you are and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, they have no judgments. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's also the plants. So
Hmm. Yeah.
in this deck, you've also got, and as you said, you've got that relationship between, say, you've got the otter and cattail. But let's talk about this one that I've already shared, the ladybug and the sweet pea. And we did do the wolf and
Yeah.
the biscuit, but how were you able to choose the plant
Hmm.
in relation to the particular animal? And it must have taken you ages.
Yeah.
Did it take you
It
ages?
did. It took a long time. Yeah, I started working on it in 2017 and then the
Mm.
actual deck came out in 2022. So it was a
Yeah,
lot of
five
on and
years.
off work, but yeah, a lot of decisions to be made. And
And a
I
lot of
started out,
research, I would
oh
imagine.
yeah, yes,
Symbolism
lots
and
and lots of research. Yeah.
what's the symbol of the
Um,
sweet pea? What's the symbol of the ladybug?
yeah.
The colors,
Yeah, well, what kind of
symbols of.
stories can I bring in with that like people
Mm,
might be familiar with? Yeah. So when I was starting out organizing it, I actually started with just a list of the animals that I wanted to include.
yeah.
And so I knew about how many I wanted there to be. And so I picked the animals first.
Mm,
And then from there, I kind of matched them to different plants that I sort of had some sort of understanding of, sort of like the mystery, their history, mythology, folklore behind them. And so I had somewhat of a basis of understanding of like what that plant could bring in and how they could work together.
mm,
But it's difficult. It's always hard when you're pairing things together. because you want things to kind of flow and connect, and you want it to be um, effortless, but it is a lot of effort to put all of that
Yeah.
together, and it's a lot of note taking and
Yes.
big lists. I'm a big list maker, so I've got like notebooks and notebooks of notes on Woodland Wardens and deciding what goes with what, and you know what kind of plants bring out these qualities in these animals.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
writing the descriptions. And
Hmm.
we order our deck and we get it and we're like, oh, so cool. And but we don't really appreciate the years and years and years of effort and
Hmm.
research that went into all of this.
Yeah.
Like it's massive because as you say,
Yeah.
it's not just about pretty pictures. Like this is an
Yeah.
oracle
Yeah.
deck. It's meant to have meaning, symbolism. So yeah,
Hmm.
it is understanding, like I say, like in choosing the colors, right? Because that
Hmm.
also has to kind of
Yeah.
like mesh with the plant
Right.
and the animal, right?
Yeah. Hmm. And people have certain associations with different colors
Mm,
naturally. And so you want to, pay attention to those sorts of things because people expect things to look, a certain way.
certain way.
And they have all these associations already in mind. And so you kind of have to either work with it or work against it. But if you're working against it, then you need a very good reason why.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
the
mean,
guidebook comes in
color
handy
has
there.
its own language. I mean, it's like in business,
Hmm.
branding. Which
Yeah.
colors do
Yeah.
you choose matter, you know?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
obviously, we've got your color scheme as demonstrated
Yeah.
in your beautiful home. My color branding, my business branding color is not demonstrated by the color of my house, although you could say that plant over there is.
Yeah.
Mine's very like green, very light greens and pinks.
Hmm.
One, because I like those colors.
Yeah.
Two, I wanted that feeling of softness. Three, pink and green are the colors of the heart chakra.
Hmm.
It's love and it feels welcoming and it feels gentle. So
Yeah.
even though you kind of like, well, I like these colors, but then when you look at the meaning of them, the language of those colors, like, yeah, that's
Hmm.
perfect. And that's where
Yeah. Yeah.
trusting your intuition as well comes in, and you probably did the
Hmm.
same with your colors, like you love those colors.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a green that I don't like. So, and there's so many different shades of green too. So, they all kind of work together in the same way, but
Yeah.
it can lean very blue or more yellow. And I love that. There's just
Yeah.
lots of different ways to work it in. Yeah.
Because I have a friend who hates green. I'm like, what is
Oh,
wrong
but
with
it's
you?
everywhere.
It's everywhere, like nature. It's
Yeah.
green. I
Yeah.
have my green. Now, I don't know what you call them in America.
Mhm.
I'm going to say in Australia, we call them thongs, but I'm not talking about
Huh.
G-strings.
Yeah.
Talking about the things you put on your feet. In New Zealand, it's flip-flops. What do they
Sandals.
call this? New Zealand, it's jandals. What do you call it in America?
Yeah. Sandals or flip-flops. Yeah.
Sandals. Yeah. So mine are
Yeah.
olive green. And if my friend
Hmm.
comes to visit, she's like, ew. And I'm like, take your green hatred out of here. Be
No
gone
way.
here.
Yeah.
Green, green, green. I love it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's nature. And as I said, it's heart chakra, it's love. And who doesn't need more
Yeah.
love in their life?
True.
Bring on the green, I say.
Yeah. I love it.
Um, Maxie just meowed.
He agrees too.
He agrees too. Ever wish there was a calm, genuine space made just for animal lovers? Somewhere off of social media where you can really connect, learn, and share. A place where you're not bombarded by opinions and trolls or overwhelmed by noise, but instead supported in caring for your animals in a way that actually feels good. That's exactly why I created the Animal Lovers Tribe. It's a gentle, heart led community for devoted pet parents who want to care for their animals naturally with confidence, clarity, and connection. If you've ever found yourself wondering how to support your pet's well-being in a more holistic way, this is where we explore it together. Inside the tribe, I share practical tips and gentle practices that help pets thrive, covering everything from food and toxins to emotional and energetic care. You'll get access to my tribe diaries, short voice notes with real stories and everyday insights from my life as an animal naturopath and pet parent. There are live online gatherings where we connect in real time, ask questions, and learn together. Plus, you'll be the first to know about new ebooks, workshops, courses, and other resources designed to help you support your animal in a grounded, natural way. And when you join, you'll get a free welcome gift, the Low Tox Starter Kit for Pets. 5 simple swaps to help reduce your pet's exposure to everyday toxins in their food, grooming, environment, and so on. And you will also get my email notes, real heartfelt updates with practical tips and holistic wisdom straight to your inbox. If this sounds like the kind of space you've been craving, I would love to welcome you in. Just head to the link in the show notes or go to ruthhatton.com and you'll see a banner at the top of the site that takes you straight to the sign up page. See you in there. So I just want to be really clear on this. So first you came in with the animals and
Yep.
then you would have done all the research around the animals and the symbolism
Yeah.
and the myths and folklore. And I love that folklore aspect to it as well. And that's, I three you've got 3 themes in this deck that totally like I'm like, yes, plants,
Yeah.
animals, folklore. Like hello.
Hmm.
It's like perfect match. Um, so what was I going to say? Um, you first come up with the animals, then you
Hmm.
did all the research around the plants and the
Yeah.
folklore. Did intuition play a part in that as well?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I think we all have sort of ideas of what different animals' personalities and characteristics are like. And so that was originally just my basis of what I was going off of is, oh, we think of cats as independent, we think of dogs as loyal. And so just kind of going off of that and then, digging deeper and figuring out the why behind it,
Yeah.
like why we feel that way, why we have those associations culturally or historically. And yeah, trying to figure out and dig deeper behind why we have that like initial innate response or understanding of like that characteristic.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's kind of
Yeah.
like what we've been taught, but also what we
Hmm.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
our inner
It's a
knowledge,
tough
our
thing to
inner
like
wisdom.
separate and yeah.
Yeah, what is my own knowledge and what is knowledge that I've
Hmm.
learned from outside of myself? And what is the
Yeah,
truth?
yeah.
What is the truth?
Right. It could be 3 completely separate things.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and why woodland? I mean, you could have done any
Yeah.
animals. Do you
Yeah.
have a particular love for the woods? Do you live in the
Yeah,
woods?
definitely. I live outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and so I live I have some land, but not like trees or woods or anything. But I
Yeah,
just love walking in the woods. I love
yeah,
just kind of exploring and going for long walks and, just like trees and plants and that kind of thing. So it's just kind of like my happy place where I feel like, comfort and excitement and, joy for. So it's
yeah.
sort of just natural to me. Yeah, I just love little woodland creatures too. So like the idea of going for a walk and a little fox starts across your path and the birds are flying overhead and that kind of thing. Yeah, I just love that.
I
It's very
walk.
like idyllic.
It is, and it's so
Yeah.
peaceful and it's so connected. Like
Hmm.
I live the Australian version of the woods, the forest, or
Hmm.
also
Yeah.
called the bush, but I prefer forest. So I live in the forest, so I walk in the forest a lot, almost daily.
Hmm.
And I sometimes always think like I can't see the animals, but they can see me. You could imagine
Yeah.
their little eyes watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hear like, oh, that was a kangaroo or a wallaby, but I can't see them, you know.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Um, I mean, I do see them. I do have them in my garden, but out in
Yeah.
the bush, it's like, well, they're doing their thing. Um,
Yeah.
men, Nashville. I have been to the US. I haven't been to
Mhm.
Tennessee. I have watched the TV
Yeah.
show Nashville.
Yeah. Yeah. Similar.
I love that show. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you, have you been to Memphis? And if yes, have you been to Graceland?
I've never been to Graceland. I've been to the Memphis Zoo, and there's an IKEA in Memphis. That's like our closest IKEA.
Yeah.
but I have not been to
Have you
Graceland.
ever driven past? I mean, you probably don't see the house from the street.
No, yeah, no, I don't think so. It's about, I think, 2 or 3 hours from here. So it is like
Oh,
a bit of a
okay. So
drive.
Tennessee's
Yeah,
big.
it is. Yeah. So you go like from the mountains just further out further
Yeah,
west. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I only asked that because I'm an Elvis lover. And
Yeah.
I've never been to Graceland.
I know it's my shame that I haven't been. Like, I should.
Yeah, you're so much closer to it than me.
Yeah.
Now you've also I don't know, um, you've also got now the Woodland Wardens, Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. So you
Yeah.
finally, after
Finally.
having that first inspiration to create a deck, and it was a tarot, but you didn't know tarot, you obviously
Mhm.
learned about tarot, and
Yeah.
finally we have the Woodland Wardens version of the tarot deck.
Yeah.
When did you start working on that?
I've had the idea for it since the Oracle deck came
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
But I don't think I started actually working on it until maybe late in 2023.
yeah. I'm
Um,
trying to find a
yeah.
publication date, but I can't see one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's on the back of the book. But it is
Yeah.
new. When did it come out?
Brand new. September 30th. Yeah. So
September 30th.
it is
Is it
a
bigger
baby.
than the Oracle deck?
It is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was
Let
going to
me
say,
see.
look, I mean, I know
Here it
it's,
is. Yeah. It's a little bit bigger.
oh, it's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So there's the 78 cards. So it's a bit thicker to begin
yeah,
with.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then the guidebook ended up being a little bit longer. And
Yes.
so some
Well,
of
of
the
course,
entries
you've
were
got
a bit
78
longer.
cards to explain rather
Yeah.
than
And then you also have to
the,
explain, what the four suits are and like why, you've made certain changes and things like that. And so you end up with like a little bit slightly bigger guidebook for that as well. And it's a little bit
oh,
thicker.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
To account for that.
when I was reading it, I love how you've
Hmm.
mentioned that I've kept many of the same compositions and environments as the Rider-Waite-Smith
Hmm.
deck. So not the Rider-Waite-Smith, but
Hmm.
replacing the human figures with animals because it is, I mean, tarot is meant to be, tarot was, correct me if I'm wrong,
Hmm.
Rider-Waite created the first tarot? No, that's not necessarily true, is it?
No.
Tarot's existed
Yeah.
for
Because it's
centuries and centuries and
for,
centuries
yeah. It's
in
just
different
ended up
cultures.
being like the most popular, I would say, and like what people associate with tarot when they think about tarot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's
Yeah. And it was
important.
named like Rider Waite after the men who wrote it. And then Pamela Coleman Smith was the illustrator. And so
Yes.
when we say like Rider Waite Smith, it's so that she gets added on and gets the credit for, creating the imagery is
Creating that. Yeah,
really,
exactly. Exactly. Which
yeah, what
without
we
the
think of as
imagery,
the standard imagery. Yeah.
yeah, without the imagery, you'd have nothing because it's all about the imagery, right?
Yeah, it
With
is. Yeah, yeah.
these
And
decks.
so gotta, make sure she gets her mention and,
Yeah, exactly.
she was forgotten about for a long, long time. And she's an incredibly talented illustrator, just brilliant.
Yeah, so I thought that's interesting, learning something new as always.
Hmm.
But I thought the
Yeah.
Rider-Waite-Smith, the imagery was slightly different, and it could just be because there's, updated versions. But I thought there
Hmm.
was, yeah, I thought there were slight differences to the imagery, and so,
Hmm.
yeah. But it sounds like what you're saying is
Yeah.
she was always the illustrator.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think
the acknowledgement.
the newer editions are closer to the color palette that she chose. And I think a lot of times when we think about it, we think about like really saturated colors, but hers were like
Yeah,
actually a bit more muted.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so you've got slightly oh God, I can never say that word.
I can't say that word either. Just
Anthropomorphized.
have to skip it. Yep, you
Each
got it.
animal aligns with the message behind each card with symbolism drawn from history, mythology, folklore, and the nature of the animal themselves. Da, da, da. So we've got, and it's not just woodland. So you've kept the
Yeah.
woodland wardens, but it's not just woodland animals. Can you
Yep.
tell us a bit about this deck?
Yeah. It's interesting. It was sort of the easiest thing I've ever made. It just
Well, I guess
felt
you'd
like it
already had the
wanted to be.
beginnings with this, so you'd
Yeah.
already done a lot of
Yes.
work in terms of the symbology and everything.
Yep. Yeah, and so a lot of like that research had been done,
Mm,
and I kind of had it in the back of my head, and then yeah, I just felt like the pairings and things like that, picking which animal I would choose for which card, just kind of came very naturally to me. It just kind of like flowed out, like the animals wanted to have their stories told, and I was happy to do it.
yeah.
So yeah, I had so much fun working on it, and
And
it's a little different than the Oracle because there's less of a focus on the plants. It's more of a
yeah.
focus on the animals as like the main characters. But there are a lot of plants
But
that
there's still
pop
like
up.
I'm scrolling through now and there's
Mhm.
still like plants on every card.
Yeah,
Even
yeah. So
on
there's
the
still,
even on the emperor, I mean the
yeah,
emperor, which is the bear,
the bear. He's
and
fun.
he's sitting on his throne and behind him is
Yeah.
mountains, but there's little flowers there. Still little flowers
Yeah.
there.
Okay. There he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. But it was just,
And
yeah,
I
the
love that
most
you
fun
chose the
I've had
ram
on a
as the
project.
Hierophant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
They're
think
so
also
great.
you already knew what cards you had to create because it's tarot. You knew you had to
Mhm.
create the
Yeah.
Fool,
It's
the Emperor, the
decided for you.
Empress,
Yep.
and then the suits.
Yeah. And
Um,
there's meanings kind of already established. And so you're kind of working within a framework.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, yeah, it makes it a lot easier. I thought it would have been more challenging, which is why I wanted to do the Oracle first. But actually, I felt kind of the opposite. The Oracle is a lot more challenging to put together, and then this seems to be, yeah, because you have the structure already, right? And so you're just kind of working
exactly.
within
You've got a
an
blueprint
established
almost.
framework. Yeah,
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 you're not completely inventing the wheel.
exactly. Which the Oracle you
Yeah,
are. And
yep,
same with the Oracle. I mean, the imagery is just beautiful. Um, like every single card is beautiful.
thank
Um,
you. Yeah,
I'd love to. I actually don't have a Rider-Waite-Smith deck at all.
mhm,
I have a Herb Crafters Tarot. I have a Light Seers.
mhm,
I think that's what it's called. Tarot.
yeah,
Apologies to the author if I've stuffed up the name. I've got the Mythic Tarot. I do not have a Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot.
yeah.
It's on my wish list. It's been on my wish list for years because it's like, well, I've got to have the
The
original
original, yeah,
in air
the
quotes for those
basis,
people not watching,
yeah,
right? Like, who knows what the tarot looked like in ancient Egypt, for example.
yeah.
Imagine if there was an
Yeah.
archaeological dig and they found, oh my God.
Would love to see it. Yeah,
And
just the
then
symbolism.
someone created a modern version of that so we could use.
Hmm.
Be cool. Oh my God.
So cool.
Just put that out there into the universe.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? As I'm scrolling through this beautiful tarot deck. Death card. Whoa, like that is, whew. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I would love to actually sit
Yeah.
there with the Rider-Waite-Smith and yours
Hmm.
and see the synchronicities
Yeah. Yeah.
in
There's
the
a
pairs.
few that are completely different. So they're not all
Yeah.
the same, but yeah, there's a few that are
Give
just,
us an example of one where you took your creative license and
yeah. I
cr
think it's the Eight of Pentacles. Let me flip through
do you
and
have
make
a
sure I'm saying the right one.
Rider-Waite-Smith Eight of Pentacles nearby?
Let me see.
Because it'd be cool to like look at the two of them. And obviously you're not copying, it's
Yeah, it is the eight.
maintaining
Yes,
those
I'll pull it
themes.
up. Yeah, I'll just grab it. It's literally right over here.
Okay, and I'm gonna get to the Eight of
See.
Pentacles in a second. I feel like this is more like a workshop. Eight of
Yeah, it's
Pentacles.
so fun. I love
Very,
chatting about this stuff.
we've,
It's so fun.
of
All right,
course,
let's
we've
see. My
got
cards are all
a
out of order.
hedgehog, right?
Yes, my hedgehog. I love that one. That's like, well, just one of the best.
He's so cute and
Let's
he's
see.
carrying, well, you've got the card, so you can show the card. But for those listening, I'll describe it.
Yes.
We've got the little hedgehog on standing on grass at the base of a tree. He's got a beautiful red ribbon tied around his neck. He's got three golden pentacles balancing on his body. Then up the tree, there are these beautiful leaves and red berries like grapes. Are they grapes?
Yeah, they're grapes.
Not the grapes grow on trees, they grow on vines, but hello, creative
Yeah.
license. And
Yep.
then also hanging off the tree, off the grapes, are another of the, because it's the eight, so we've got five more pentacles.
Yeah. So there is
There it is
mine. Let's see.
visually.
And then
Perfect.
that is the Rider-Waite
Yeah, so
Smith. So it's a little different.
you've still got the
Hmm.
tree and the human's still at the bottom
Yep.
of the tree.
Yes.
So it's not like hugely different. I mean, the difference I say is the man
No.
is building something,
Yes. Yeah.
whereas, well, the
And this
hedgehog
little
is
guy, he's collecting.
he's
So
collecting.
he so the hedgehog story is based on a story in the Physiologus, which is this ancient Greek text that kind of taught moralistic tales.
Mhm.
It's also sort of the inspiration for most medieval bestiaries. And so it has things like magical creatures in it, but it also has things like the hedgehog in it. And
Yeah.
the story goes that the little hedgehog has all these spines on its back so that it can go and shake fruit trees, then roll around on the fruit that falls off and carry the food home for his family, which, not actually how hedgehogs work.
Yeah.
But it's such a cute story, right? That he's collecting grapes
Yeah, I
and
love
food to
that.
bring back home to his family. So that's sort of the inspiration behind it is taking sort of that, initial card that you see, but I immediately kind of went to this little guy and I just love that story. It's just one of my favorites. And you'll see in like, medieval marginalia, little pictures of hedgehogs with grapes stuck in their spines.
Which is
And
why
it,
you
and it
chose
just
the
comes
grapes.
from, yeah, the physiologist. Yeah.
And you decided
It's
that
fun.
in this world, grapes grow on
Yeah.
trees.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I love seeing it
Yeah.
next to the Rider-Waite Smith. Can you show us another example?
Sure. Let's
Just because I
see.
like to see how you've taken
Yeah.
that as the framework, but then you've really made it your own while still
This one's sort
honoring
of,
the
yeah,
swords,
completely
which,
different.
yeah, which in
Yeah.
your deck
Which
is
are
the arrows.
arrows. Yes. Because they just feel like a bit more naturalistic, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Let's
it's a
see.
bit more if you think about, older cultures they were using and still, indigenous
Hmm.
peoples today, it is arrows, not
Yeah.
swords.
So
Um,
you can kind of see how
but you can
our little
see the
ringtail,
similarity
but
there.
it's similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we've got the
Similar but different.
swords. Yeah, the swords are plunged into
Yeah.
the body and the arrows are
Hmm.
plunged into the what is this animal?
A ringtail. Yeah.
It is a ringtail. So
Hmm.
we have ringtail
Thank you.
possums here in Australia, but their
Yeah.
tails
Yeah.
aren't striped.
Right.
They're just obviously
Yeah.
they're a ring. They're in a ring, round, like
Yeah.
spiral,
Yep.
which is its own symbology,
Cute.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's a
sorry,
fun
could you just
one.
put those ones up again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting, man. It's like as we said, I mean, the Rider-Waite Smith has got, the blue ocean in the background.
Hmm.
It does have the color red, and you've carried
Yep.
that color red through that ribbon around the
Yeah.
tail. But you can see the synergy between the two.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
symbology is the same, and that matters.
Hmm. Yeah.
So tell us about the meaning of the Ten of Arrows, because
Yeah.
you
So
can
it's
look at that and
obviously,
it's quite. If someone pulls
yeah,
that
it's what you
card,
think.
they're like, "Oh my God, I don't want to be stabbed."
Yeah. It's interesting because it's like a lot of times when we think about like death in tarot, it's like it's just an ending, right? And so
Yeah,
we're at the 10. It's the
transformation.
last of the numbered cards. So before after this, you go onto the page, then
Yeah.
Knight, Queen, and King. And so you're at the end, and so it's interesting to like think about that of sort of sleep, rest, and that kind of thing. You have all these burdens, you have all these things, and it's
Yeah.
over.
And
Yeah,
also, like,
it's
if you
over
think
and
of
it was
that,
painful.
yeah, if you think of like the arrows are stuck in the body, and if you think of
Hmm.
burdens, you're holding
Yeah.
onto these burdens, it feels like they're stuck. But then as we
Yeah.
move into the page, the
Hmm.
colors lighten up.
Yeah.
So we're
There seems to
coming
be
more
like
to
a
the,
just a new start, yeah, with the pages.
yeah, we've come
Yeah, they're
through
all
the
like
one.
very energetic.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I got to stop. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
We come through the 1 to 10, the 10 stages, and then it's like, oh, thank God we're through that. And then we actually,
Hmm.
then the page of arrows, you've got a wolf
Yes. Yep.
shooting an arrow. So
I
the
see.
arrows have been released, and now there's a
Hmm.
actually forward motion, and it does feel lighter because you've got the blue sky. You've got
Yeah.
the dark
Yeah.
background to that blue sky.
Hmm.
Um, and that's where the
Yeah, it's interesting
symbology
because
is,
it's
right?
like wind is like very associated with like swords and arrows, and so it's sort of like it happens quickly. So you've got like our trees kind of moving in the
Blowing
wind.
in the wind. Yes,
Yeah, flowing
yes,
in the wind. And so it's like it's interesting how those kind of elements work their way into like the symbolism in the cards. Yeah, the clouds are
yeah.
moving. Yeah.
And
Yeah, pages tend to have like
everything,
a lot of energy. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything, it has meaning.
Yeah.
Everything. And that's why you can study a card for ages and you can look at a card today and look at it again next
Hmm.
week and see something completely different or get a completely
Yeah.
different, or not completely, a slightly different meaning or message behind it because of you see something that you didn't see. Your attention is on
Hmm.
something that you didn't see before. Like I'm looking at the Queen of Arrows, which I love, is beautiful. And I
Yeah.
didn't really notice the
She's great.
butterflies before, but now I'm seeing the
Hmm.
butterflies on her crown, which is
Yep.
beautiful. Before we move on to a bit more broader, I also, I was going to ask you about this. There's all these things I didn't tell you I was going to ask you because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask it to you, but you know about this one. I'm just going to scroll up to it. I would love to talk about the strength card. Now,
Yeah.
strength is one of my favorite cards in the tarot.
Hmm.
Um, I also do love the Empress, and you've got a beautiful hair as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
She's
strength,
great.
I've always liked the strength card. Oh, and I love the
Hmm.
chariot where you've got, it's like the donkeys are dancing.
Yeah. They're so happy.
It's so happy. And that is the card
Yeah.
for strength. And so
Hmm.
maybe not the first thing, but one thing that really jumped out at me was the mouse, the cute little
Hmm.
mouse sitting on the
Yeah.
lion's nose, tying a ribbon
Exactly.
around the lion's mouth. And I
Yep.
kind of looked at that. I'm like, that doesn't feel like strength to me. And I
Hmm.
want to know Jessica's thinking
Yeah.
around why is the mouse tying the lion's.
Yeah.
And like I said, I am not an expert on tarot. And so it could totally be in alignment with the Rider-Waite-Smith, right? I
Hmm.
can't remember. But yeah, I'd love
Yeah.
handing
Let me
over
pull
to
that one
you.
too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that
Yeah. Because I think it
relate
is kind of
to
helpful.
strength?
So
Mm.
whenever I think about strength, I think about inner strength. And so in the Rider-Waite Smith deck, you have a woman holding the mouth of a lion in her hands. And
Ah,
so I really love the idea of strength, having that inner strength rather than outer, right?
yeah.
And so yeah, it comes from within, and it's not a matter of being strong and lifting things up. It's a matter of handling difficult situations and persevering
And
and being
calling on that
able
inner
to
strength.
tackle. Yes, yeah, being able to summon that and really just bring it forward. Maybe I might have pulled it out of this deck just to like keep by the side of my desk, and now I can't find
That's okay.
it.
You've described
But
it. So
it's a great, yes,
the
the
woman
woman
is
holding
holding the
a
lion's
lion's
mouth.
mouth
So in this
closed.
one, the mouse is the
It's a
woman.
little mouse. Yes. And so I like that because, I think about Aesop's fables and the story of the mouse with the lion
Yeah.
and how, this little tiny creature can help and summon this inner strength to help a beast, really, like this
Yeah.
large, dominating, strong creature, because she is just as strong, just in other ways.
Yeah.
Right. And so she's sort of taming that, she's controlling it, and she can call upon it when she needs it. It's just something like in her toolkit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just such a
Yeah.
beautiful card. Like I would,
Mhm.
and we're going to move into this shortly because you don't just do
Yeah.
cards, you do a lot more.
Hmm.
I
You
would
do.
love that print on my wall.
Yeah.
It's just like the roses, and I love all cats, big and small. So obviously I'm attracted to a card with a lion on it.
Hmm.
The lion's mane, and he's standing
Yeah.
so proud, but he's also so gentle. Like he's
Yeah.
allowing this
Yeah.
little mouse to tie this little red ribbon around
Yeah.
his mouth. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
All the cards are beautiful, but
Well,
particularly
thank you.
the strength.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Well, actually, no, yeah. Is there anything else you want to share before we move into your other creations? Is there anything else you want to share about the Oracle deck or the Tarot deck? Is there anything that you really want people to know? Um,
I guess one thing is that it's something very common, I think, with decks in general, is that there are counterfeit decks. And so you have to buy through, authorized booksellers if you want an authentic deck. So unfortunately, there's sites like Temu and AliExpress and
oh,
things like
yeah,
that where it's been like ripped off and stolen. And
yeah.
so, the sure way to know that you have an authentic one is that it comes with a guidebook, a printed guidebook with the deck. And so, the counterfeits, they're terrible quality. They're like $2 or $3 each. And so it's like
But they don't come
really
with a
difficult.
guidebook. You'd think they'd copy
No,
the guide.
no.
Well,
So they have like a QR code on the back that you're supposed to scan, and it takes you to like some sketchy website where you can download a PDF, but it doesn't actually work because they don't
oh
have
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah, and so it's been honestly, one of the hardest things in my career that I've ever had to go through, because these
Yeah,
projects are very, very like close to my heart,
yeah,
and I put so much of myself in my work. And so then when you
exactly.
see these like cheap copies popping up where it's like, they weren't made with love or with intention. They
No,
were made to make a profit for someone else, someone
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
me. Um, yeah, so just like always, and it's a huge problem. Like counterfeit decks are a massive, massive issue
yeah.
in this industry. So it's like, people ordering off sketchy places, like Temu is not legit. It's not
Mm.
authentic. Like TikTok shop, not an authentic place to buy a
I
deck.
hate that Temu
Just be
website.
very careful. I know.
It's,
I find my work
I'm like,
stolen on
oh,
there all
this,
the time. Like
yeah,
Shein, Temu,
yeah,
like all of those, like Wish.
yeah,
I've had my work stolen by all of those like many, many times, and it's soul crushing every time it happens.
yeah.
It never gets easier, it never feels better. And so this is just on a massive scale. Like these are professionals who are doing this to make profit. These are like
Of
professional
other
thieves
people's hard
doing
work
this
and
off other
passion.
people's work. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like they do tarot decks and things like that because they're popular and they sell well, and
yeah,
they can make a quick buck doing it. And so it's so difficult. It's really a challenge to deal with. And my publisher handles,
all
takedowns
that
and things
stuff.
like that, the legal
Yeah,
side of things. But they're out there, and we try our best to get them taken down like as soon as they pop up, but they pop up constantly.
yeah.
So yeah,
I
it's
have
one of those things.
I have heard the best place if you actually want to support the author is to buy them direct from
Hmm.
the author. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Hmm.
Because obviously you look at,
Sure.
do you get paid as much money from the likes of, say, Amazon, Booktopia, Barnes and Noble
Hmm.
as you would from
Yeah.
selling it on your own website? I wouldn't, you
It's
probably make
slightly
more
different. It's
make more
interesting.
money off your own website.
Yeah, so the ones
Mm.
that I sell on my website, I buy them wholesale from my publisher.
Oh,
So
that's
I
so
don't make a
funny. You should get
royalty
them
on those.
free.
I
You
know,
should get
right? Or I
100%
like
of
at
that.
cost. Yeah, and so it's tough too because like I would love to just, give them away, but I do actually have to buy them. You get like I think I get like 20 or so for free, and then the rest, you
And
kind of
then
have to
that,
buy.
yeah. So that's where
And those
it's
all
like,
get given away to like the people that helped make it.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
is
And
it
so,
correct then
yeah.
to say that the best way to support the author is to buy from the author directly?
I don't mind either way. Like if you want to buy through a bookstore, like I love
Yeah.
like bookshop and things like that, or small indie bookstores, like, because I'll get the same amount whether or not you buy it through a bookstore or through Amazon or one of
Oh,
the larger bookstores.
yeah. I mean, a
Like
lot of
that,
people use Amazon. I mean, Amazon has its own
yeah,
issues. I still
right,
use
right.
Amazon because it's fast
It's tough. Like
and I get
and
free
we
delivery
run
because I'm
businesses too, right? And so
I
it's like
know.
you have to
And
think
I
about
buy
cost of
business
things.
books from there as well.
Yeah,
So it's like, well, these are
yeah.
my overheads, you know? And
Hmm.
it's like, but at
Yeah,
least, you know, the author, the creator is still getting paid, whether you're buying it
yeah,
from Amazon or
yeah.
Booktopia or Barnes and Noble or whatever, right? So
Right. Yeah.
on your website,
Hmm.
you can see all of the amazing creations. Like you've got tarot, you've got calendars, weekly planners,
Hmm.
scarves, greeting cards, to-do lists, postcards. Um,
Yeah.
Other oracle decks, we've got the ornithography and the floriography. I'll get you to speak about those.
Yeah.
Keychains, coloring books, pins that you can stick on yourself,
Yeah.
stickers, tapes,
It's
like
like anything you can put an
in
illustration on. I've tried
badges,
it.
buttons if you're a cool button collector person, tea towels, notebooks. Like there's just so many things on there.
hmm
Seasons greetings card. Hello, Christmas is
Yeah.
coming.
Coming. Yeah.
Um, and prints, you do have prints. I'm waiting for you. You
Yeah.
do have a strength print, but it's not the
It's different.
same
Yeah.
as the.
It's one I did many, many years ago before I made this deck. Yeah.
Are you going to do a print of the strength tarot card?
So I can't sell prints of things in the deck because of like my agreements with my publisher. So it would have to be like through them essentially. But maybe we could get them to do like a line of prints or stickers or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, see, that's annoying, right? Like when you're
I
the
know it's like all the
purveyor,
merchandising rights and things, and then it's like all a bunch of
it's like all
stuff.
the corporate
Yeah.
restrictions, right? Green
hmm
man print. Like I
Yeah.
encourage all of you go and check out Jessica's website because there's just so many beautiful things on there. And even though, I mean, US and Australia, US and the world, right, with all the tariffs and stuff, you
Yeah.
we still get deliveries from the US. Like I still get
hmm
deliveries from the US without any problems.
Oh,
Um,
that's good. It's good to know because I never
yeah,
know.
like I think I told your
Yeah.
publisher I get my probiotics from the US and I there haven't been any issues. And that's like
Oh,
every
good.
month they
Yeah.
send it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You just
yeah,
never know now. It's like it's wild.
it's just from sending Australia to the US now. They've like our main
Okay.
postal system has had to collaborate with someone else to keep postage costs down when posting to
Oh,
America.
okay.
So there's just things
Yeah.
like there's just been some systematic changes. But hang
hmm
on, you've got a cat and lavender print that is the same as the oracle. So is it some
Yeah.
restriction on the tarot that stops you from?
Yeah. So the Oracle ones, I had those before I worked on it with my publisher. So I had, I think,
Ah,
20 or
okay.
so of the
Yeah.
illustrations. Yeah.
So you kept
Yeah.
those as they're mine. I can do whatever the hell
hmm
I want with them. Thank you. Keep
Yeah. But they're
as
also in
well.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that is a
Yeah.
beautiful, it is such a, the cat and lavender, it's beautiful. So for
Yeah.
those listening, I mean, you can go and check out the website. But it's
Yep.
like a black cat with a little white patch on her chest. She
Yeah.
has yellow
He's based
eyes.
on my neighbor's cat from a few years ago,
Oh,
and
wow.
I loved that cat so much. He was the coolest. And he would just play with my dog. They would chase each other around and just spend a lot of
That's
time.
so
They just sit
cool.
together outside. They had like a really great friendship. It was
And
really
now he
sweet.
is permanently available for the whole world to see in
Yes.
print and in
Yes.
card. And
Yep.
around
I
him
think about
are
him
little,
often.
yeah, oh, around him are little lavenders. It's a very
hmm
beautiful image.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we are like this. Yeah, okay. So, tell us a bit about the floriography and the ornithology. Did I pronounce that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Floriography was the first book that I wrote and illustrated.
Yeah.
That came out in 2020, and it's all about the Victorian language of flowers. So in the
Wow.
Victorian era, like every flower had a meaning associated with it. And
Yeah,
there were
yeah,
these like beautiful floral dictionaries that were published at the time that would list out the flower and its associated meaning.
yeah.
And so I've always been really inspired by that. I learned about that when I was in college, and I've worked in flower meanings in my work. And, I just always had the idea of putting this collection together, particularly because these like old Victorian floral dictionaries don't tell you why the flowers have these meanings.
Mm,
So Floriography really explores, why do we associate red roses with love?
yeah,
Why do we associate like buttercup with like charm and like childhood?
yeah.
And so it's fascinating, and you can go down a lot of rabbit holes with that. And I loved working on that. And so ornithography is sort of a follow up to it. It's, in the same kind of series. And instead of flowers, it's birds. And so we don't have
Mm,
really a unified language of birds but birds hold symbolic meaning. You
Yeah.
know, we've been telling stories about birds for millennia. And so, you know, there's lots of different bird lore and symbolism woven in. And I've sort of worked it in the same way that
Yeah.
Floriography was. So you have like sort of the meaning and then the origin behind it, the associated symbolism and the story behind why. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're
So I
again
just love birds and flowers.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, they're all parts of nature, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
again, they're beautiful. Like I've got on your website in the
Hmm.
florography book, you've got you can click on you've got some images there you click on and you can zoom.
Yeah.
Slightly can read one word. So one of those images, one of the pages that you show on the website is the fern, and my
Yeah.
my oldest friend, we've been friends since we were 12. Her name is Fern. And I didn't know this, that one of the meaning you've got written here, the meaning of fern is magic and secrecy.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Secrecy,
Yeah.
not
Secrecy.
sorcery,
Yep.
secrecy. I never knew that
Yeah.
about the fern. And we've got ferns growing
Hmm.
all around here, and the cats love eating
Yeah.
ferns. So magic.
Yep.
What can I say? No wonder.
Amazing. Yeah. Perfect. I love that. Yeah. It's just
Um,
so, it's so incredible to like think about the world through symbols and through symbolism. And yeah, I just love it. So,
yeah.
so much of my work ends up exploring that kind of avenue.
It allows us to go deeper, right? To see things
Hmm.
beneath the surface.
Yeah.
It's not just about materialistic aspects of the world
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
us. It's it's that hidden language, that hidden message, that ancient knowledge, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is your most popular of products?
Probably Floriography, but I think it's probably just because it's been out the longest, right? So it's
Yeah.
sold the most. But
Beautiful
Woodland
gifts,
Wardens
though.
Oracle is very close behind. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And you
Yeah.
might find that, it
Mhm.
gets even more popular.
Yeah.
Um,
Fingers crossed.
Everyone on the podcast, literally get online and go and buy the Oracle deck and the tarot. I've got to buy the tarot.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but like just those books, they're so, like coffee table books for the,
Yeah.
for the plant lover, for the bird lover, like
Hmm.
they would make beautiful gifts, those books,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Uh
I've gotten to meet and talk to a lot of like bird watchers and, you
yeah,
know, experts, botanists and things like that through working on these books. And it's really a joy to get to connect with those people and, you know, hear what they think.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And then you can like
Mhm.
weave that into your
Yeah.
creations. And with that weaving in, we've spoken about, the folklore and the mythology. Are there
Mhm.
any, and you spoke about the Greek with the hedgehog.
Yeah.
Other than those, are there any stories or traditions that you find yourself drawn to the most?
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good question. I do really love like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I tend to come back to it, you know, just like time and time again because it's so fascinating and
Yeah.
the stories, I don't know, I just there's something about them where it's like my little childhood brain loving those like
Mm,
Greek myths just really comes back and yeah, I just find it like really comforting and intriguing. There's just so much going on and there's so many different stories and characters and you
yeah.
know, I love how these, you know, gods and goddesses pop up throughout, you
Yes.
know, all these different stories and yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing, you know. There's a lot of like pride and there's a lot of, you know, jealousy and there's a lot of love
Mm,
and yeah, adoration and obsession even. And
yeah.
so it kind of hits on all of these like really deep, intense feelings for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you look at things like the gods and goddesses, and then
Hmm.
crossing over with other cultures, like you obviously got ancient
Yeah.
Greece, and then how are they
Myths
represented
too.
in
Yeah.
Egypt? How are they
Hmm.
represented in ancient Asia? And
Yeah.
and then when you look at that, you can then see the similarities between them, like Venus,
Yeah.
Aphrodite, Isis. That's
Yeah.
strong, and then you've got in the Celtic, all the goddesses there. Like um,
Yeah.
you've got Bridget, who's my favorite.
Yep.
You probably
Yes.
like her too because of her
I
connection
love her.
to animals and nature.
Yep.
And the fiery red hair.
Yeah, fire. Yeah.
you've got
I
going
feel like
on, you
it's,
know?
yeah, I just love her because I feel like a lot of times people think, like Aries, fire,
Yes.
like anger, and it's not anger, it's passion. Like
Passion. We're
it's
incredibly
passion. Like there's anger there
passionate.
too, but it's passion. And that's like
Yes.
where it all stems from, is that, yeah.
Yes, I don't think we've spoken about it since pressing record, but Jessica and I are both, our sun is both of us have our natal sun in Aries. So we're
Mhm.
kindred spirits in that regard. And if I had my hair out, it's
Yeah.
definitely Aries hair because it's,
Yeah.
and Aries rules the head. Although I heard somewhere the other day they spoke about Aries ruling the body. Um,
Ooh,
and I was like,
interesting.
but yeah, when you break up the parts, Pisces is a feet, Aries is a head.
Hmm.
So it makes sense. And also when you look at the ram,
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, this is not an
Yeah.
astrology
Yeah.
show.
It's interesting though. I love talking about it because I feel like there's little bits that get
Would you ever
sprinkled
do an
in and
astrology, Woodland Wardens fusing with astrology? That'd be cool.
yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be
There's
really
so much there. I feel like I don't
cool.
know enough about it, and then I could just spend years
But that was
researching
the
it, which
same
would
with the
actually be great.
tarot. Hello,
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
this space.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, okay. We should probably start wrapping up, otherwise we're going to be here all
I
day.
know I could talk about this stuff
Oh,
for
me
hours and
too.
hours. It's
Me
so
too.
fun. Yeah, animals are the best.
Yes, they really are. And nature, yes. And I want to say,
Hmm.
I do ask these kinds of questions a lot of my guests, and I've got it written down here for you. Your work is very, there definitely is a spiritual. I mean, we talk about oracle and tarot. Hello, of course, it's spiritual.
Hmm.
That spiritual side of your work, but then you've also got, like we've discussed, the corporate restrictions and all the, and then you've
Hmm.
got the people that are ripping you off with fake decks and everything. How do you stay grounded amongst all of that and really staying connected with what's at your heart, which is these
Hmm.
creations?
Yeah, it's tough. I find it difficult to like deal with those aspects of things, like the commercialized things and being
Mm,
like a salesperson. It's almost like putting on a different hat to be like, okay, I'm on sales duty. And then, so I tend to
yes,
kind of break
yeah,
up my day in a certain way, in a very structured sort of way. So it's like I'll do my businessy emails when I like first wake up, get those out of the way, and then spending the time like drawing, writing, researching, like that's where I'm really in my happy place. And then
yes,
generally I have to check my emails towards the end of the day again. And then, I run my shop, so I have to pack orders and things like that.
yeah,
Another like very businessy thing that I have
yes.
to do. So
I got to
generally
do
I
that
try to
today,
spend,
actually.
it's
Go to the post office.
my least favorite part of my job. Yeah, going to the post office, like, oh, I have to do that this week. Generally, my husband takes all the shop orders and he's like
Oh, nice.
best helper, but we had so many that I had to go with him just to
Yeah.
lift
But
the
that's
extra
good that
bags.
you
And
have
it's
so
like
many.
it is good, but going to the post office
Is not
not so
fun.
fun.
It's like that
Yeah,
blessing
and
in
so
disguise. I have that too. It's like, oh my God, I've
mhm.
got so many orders to do. This is going to take me hours. It's going to take me
Yes,
all day. And it's like, but
it's
this is a
good,
good
but
thing.
it's good. It's like I just have to keep telling myself that. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And this is
Um,
like that sales part of your business. You have to get these things
you
out
have
into
to.
the world.
Yeah, and it's like even putting a pitch together for my publisher for these things, like you really have to
Mm,
think in like a business minded way and talk about like revenue and potential sales opportunities and comparative and competitive titles that are similar, but how your work will be different and sell better.
yes,
Um, and
exactly.
it's
You
honestly a
don't want to
bit
be
painful.
sued for like breach of copyright or something.
Yeah, yeah, you got to think about all of that stuff. And so I know for me, I try to spend at least an hour outside every day.
Yeah.
Generally, I have a bunch of chickens, and so they have like a really big run, but I let them out so that they can kind of explore the rest of the garden
Yeah.
for about an hour every day. Let my dog out. Sometimes the neighborhood cats come over to say hi, and
Yeah.
it's just that is like my perfect time. It's like where I recharge and I get
Away from the
ideas for things to
computer.
do. Yes. And even if it's just like weeding, if I'm just out there weeding, or I'll sit out there and read with the chickens around me and the dog and
Yeah.
cats. And that's just my absolute
Heaven.
favorite part of my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I
I feel
think
you.
making sure I have that time is just so, so, so important.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're all up in
Yeah.
our head in this commercial capitalistic kind of
Hmm.
world, and
Yeah.
that can be hard
It's
for many
difficult.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not something that comes like particularly naturally to me. Like I'd much
Yeah.
rather be drawing pictures than like writing pitches, but you end up doing both.
But then you're just keeping all of that beauty to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. We want your stuff.
Hmm.
I have to ask you this question. Do you
Yeah.
feel a kind of guardianship or responsibility toward the animals
Mhm.
and plants that you bring into your art?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I
Mm.
think it's important to share their stories
Yeah.
and, to recognize that they do have stories that need to be told or stories that have been forgotten about. And I think, especially in today's world where we're so online, we're on social media all the time, we're getting emails constantly, we have 24-hour news. And so,
Yes.
you're just bombarded with information.
Yeah.
And it's not particularly great information. And so I
Mm.
think
And it's not
any
particularly
way,
true.
yeah, yeah. And so I think any way where I can help people feel like a connection
Mm.
to nature, to the earth, um, yeah, to feel maybe just to even they see a bird that I've illustrated that they don't know about. Just taking the time to do Google search and like look at pictures of it and see, you know, learn a little bit more about it, learn the name of it, learn the names of the trees that are in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Like anything that I can do that helps people reconnect with that and find a way. Because I know I personally I would go crazy if I didn't have, my garden. I didn't have that like respite from the
Mm.
rest of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Just
know for
chaos.
yourself that it's so important for you and it brings so much meaning to your life that you know it's
Hmm.
going to
Yeah.
help. You know it's going to help others as well because
Yeah.
even though we're all different, there we all share a lot of similarities, and nature is one thing that
Yeah.
connects all of us because we are part of nature.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and I love that. It's kind of like, in a way, it's like you are a guardian for the
Hmm.
plants and animals that you chose. You are sharing them with the world, and through that, you're helping. You have the ability to help people rebuild their relationship with
Yeah.
those parts of nature and spark that curiosity to, like you say, like obviously, you're in not Memphis, you're in Nashville, Tennessee, and your products are
Hmm.
available, worldwide. So there's going to be animals in there that we don't have in Australia, and there's going to be animals that
Hmm.
we have that you don't have in your decks, because it's your
Yep.
experience, what you know, right? So that's
Yeah.
that invitation to look at the animals and the plants in your area and think about the symbology and the folklore. It's an invitation.
Yeah.
Work is an
Yeah.
invitation.
Yeah.
Mm. What's next for you? Do you have, I mean, you've just put
Yeah.
out the tarot, but we know that you
Yes.
were working on that for a few years. Do you have
Hmm.
something else? And you possibly can't share, but are you working
Yeah.
on something new?
I've got a few things
Mm.
that I'm working on. So I'm working on a sticker book, which is really fun.
Oh, yeah,
So it's some new artwork, but it also uses a lot of the artwork from Woodland Wardens and from my other books. So that's really exciting.
yeah,
I love stickers, so I'm like really excited about it. And there's
yeah,
very little writing involved, so
yeah.
less research time, which is great. And then I'm working on a book that chronicles a year in my garden. So it's sort of
Oh,
like a
wow.
memoir garden diary, and it
That's
has,
cool.
like recipes and DIYs and things that everyone can do as, to bring a little bit more gardening in their world. But
Amazing.
yeah, I started working on that. It's difficult because it's like, sharing a lot of myself and my own struggles and how my garden has helped me. But I feel like it's important, to share
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And I'm
When,
working on a picture book as well. So that should be fun when that comes out.
well, I
The
mean,
work never ends.
oh, but it's good that you still got all these ideas.
I know. It's like I feel like I was thinking about this the other day. Um, like how many like there's a finite number of books that someone can make, right?
Mm.
Or products or things like that in a lifetime. And it's And I feel like I still have a lot to say.
Yeah,
And,
cool.
you know, I still, yeah, feel inspired to do so. So I'm gonna keep going as long as I can
Your work is not
to share
done.
that.
Nature has
Yeah, it's
more in
not done.
store for you.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you really are like a steward of nature.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that.
mm.
It feels very true. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you are bringing nature to the people through your work,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
allowing them to connect with nature in a way that they may not do or have thought
Mhm.
of. You know, if you think of people in
Yeah.
cities, they don't have access to if they don't have, I mean, everyone can get in a car. Well, not everyone. That's a bit,
Yeah.
elitist, right? Not everyone has a car.
Hmm.
Not everyone has that freedom to just go outside and go somewhere, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
honoring that and respecting that. But many of us, particularly in the Western world, have that ability
Hmm.
to, if you don't have a car, to use public transport or something,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
catch a ride with someone else and say, you have to take me to this place. Let's go and explore here. You know,
Yeah.
but then for those people who can't do that, or for those, or, it's like you are bringing nature to them. You're bringing the woodlands to them.
Yeah.
And it's like like I said, the animals, we don't have bobcats here. We don't have
Hmm.
otters here. You're bringing us bobcats and otters. So thank
Yeah. Oh,
you. So
I'll
I
have
think
to come
it's,
visit someday and see all the
all
Australian
this,
flora and fauna too, because
I mean,
it's,
you would love the
yeah,
kangaroos. The kangaroos are
they're so cool.
magnificent. And you could just come to my
Yeah.
house because if you're lucky, they will
Yeah.
be here. Not everyone gets to see
That's
them. They
so
don't,
amazing to me.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so Australian cliche. It's not kangaroos are
Mhm.
not in everybody's backyard, right?
Yeah.
I live in the
But it's
hinterland,
cool
so
that they're in yours. Yeah.
it's so like when I first moved here, I was like, and I still have the same
Yeah.
reaction, like, oh my God, there's a kangaroos, hello. And then when
Yes, they're just walking through.
the deer
Yeah.
come, and that's even more special because they come less frequently. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
the deer. And then of the deer, the stags come even less frequently than the
Yeah.
females. And sometimes you see the whole family there with the big daddy stag and the teenage boy stags, and then the
Yeah.
mom and the sisters, and they're all there. And I'm like, hello. And they're like, I'm like, it's just me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, there's that
Yeah.
crazy woman that gets so excited by us. But, and
Oh, I
sometimes
love to see them.
it's just gorgeous. And they were the first time that first time I saw a deer, it was quite a while after I moved in that I first saw the deer. But that was actually the first time that I had seen deer with like, as opposed to in some kind of enclosed environment, like
Yeah.
in the wild. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
this is the home, right? So it's
Hmm.
semi-wild, right? But it was like the first time that I've ever actually seen, I've got it right, deer in their own natural environment. And
Yeah.
deer is so gentle. And
Hmm.
so that the
Yeah.
energy that it's that beautiful feeling of gentleness. And so when I see them,
Hmm.
it just like comes over me like a wave of just, oh,
Yeah.
I love them.
I love them. Yeah. I see them a lot at my parents. They live in the mountains in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we've set up a trail cam so that we can just watch the deer. Like we don't hunt, we just look at them.
Yeah.
And so we'll set out deer corn and things so that they'll come by and
Oh, that's
yeah, we
so
get to see
cool.
all of the little babies are my favorite, the fawns with the little spot. It's just they're so beautiful.
I have never seen a spotted one here. I don't know if
No, it
maybe
must
we
be a
don't,
different type.
yeah, maybe we don't have that
Yeah, that
subspecies of
species, I
deer
guess. Yeah.
here. That's more like the American European,
Yeah. Yeah.
difference between Australian deer. I mean, deer are not a
Yeah.
native. I'm pretty sure deer are not
Oh,
native
okay. Yeah.
to Australia. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyone who
Yeah.
knows, comment below and correct my possible mistaken. I mean, they're hunted, but then so are kangaroos, and kangaroos are natives. So
Hmm.
go
Yeah.
figure,
Yeah.
right? There's just no
Yeah.
no respect for the.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
So my final question for you, Jessica, that
Mhm.
I ask all of my guests. If there was one thing that you could change about the human-animal relationship, what would it be?
Hmm. I love that question. You know, I
Everyone
just
always has
wish,
such different answers too.
yeah, because it's like I think there's a lot of ways you can interpret it.
Yeah.
Um, Personally, for me, I would just love to like be able to tell my dog things and have her understand like immediately. Just to be like, I'll be out of town for a week. It's like 7 sleeps. You can do that. You'll figure it out. You can count to 7. Like you'll figure that out, and just have her understand to be like, okay, I don't have to worry. Like she's coming back in 7 days. That's totally fine. Just like that kind of thing. Just being able to like tell my pets, be like, hey, just understand what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, yeah. And there's,
Yeah.
if you speak to animal communicators, they will tell you you can
Hmm.
do that and your animals will understand you.
I
Um,
hope so.
and I think
I do
sometimes,
that. Like whenever I go to town, I tell her like,
yeah, and it's
I'll be gone
important.
for 5 sleeps. Like you
Yeah.
can do that.
Or sometimes some animal communicators will say 5 darks.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
then sleep
Yeah.
probably works too because they're like, sleep, one sleep.
Yep.
Although they have multiple sleeps, they're not like humans, they're not just
They
sleeping
do.
down,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, well, I've had
Yeah.
5 sleeps today. Why
Yeah.
are you not back
I
yet?
went to sleep 5 times. Yeah. Where are you?
You said 5 sleeps, you lied.
Yeah. That's
Once
probably
I
why
went
she's confused.
once I went away for a weekend and
Mhm.
I always I rarely go away. And my mum was at my house looking after my cats. And I'm positive I said to them, I think they were all hiding in the bedroom when I left, and I'm positive that I said to them, I'm going away for one dark, like it wasn't even a weekend, it was one night, one dark.
Yeah.
Nana's here to look after you. You'll be fine. I'll see you when I get back. I love you. And then I was speaking to my friend who's an animal communicator, and she said, Elvie said that um you didn't tell him that you were going away. I'm like, yes, I did. I so
Yeah.
did. I always do, his little fibber.
Yep. Wasn't
So but
listening.
it's
You gotta
like
like
I
hold
think it was
that.
just a
Be like, hey.
breakdown in communication. He didn't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
them, so I think there's that. Yes, we do have the ability to communicate with our animals,
Hmm.
but just like there's breakdown in human to human communication,
Right.
there can be a breakdown in human
Yes.
animal communication as well. Um,
Yeah.
so I think to
Yeah. Or
sum
like if
up,
it's storming and I can just be like, don't be anxious.
yeah,
Storm's
exactly.
okay. Nothing bad ever happens,
It's
just
fine.
for
We're
her to be,
safe. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she's a little anxious one.
So
So,
that greater
yeah,
ability to be able to, I guess it's a greater ability to bring comfort to our animals because that
I
and
think
comfort
so.
and
Yeah, because
safety.
they find it so easy to comfort me. I wish I could do the same for them. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah,
yeah,
they're so
beautiful.
good.
I know.
Yeah,
What would a world? I've said it before. I'm pretty sure I've said it before on the podcast,
yeah.
and elsewhere that I would not want to live in a world without animals.
No, oh my gosh. I don't
I,
know what I would do. What would I draw?
I know,
You
right? Oh
know?
my God.
Yeah, they're
You have to
so
draw. You
important.
have to come up with something completely different.
No, wouldn't be
Well,
as fun.
it wouldn't be as fun. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. I've loved having
Yeah, thank
these
you.
chats with you today. We covered a lot more than I was planning to. I loved sharing your beautiful work with my audience. And people can find you
Mhm.
at your website.
Yep.
It's shop Jessica. How do you pronounce it? Rue?
Rue, yep. Like
Rue.
a kangaroo. It's always what I tell people.
Kangaroo, but with a
Yep.
OUX.
Yep.
But I'll put the link to that in the show notes. And then Instagram, Jessica S.
Yep.
Roux,
Yeah.
Nashville-based illustrator, and your profile photo is a beautiful picture of a fox.
Yeah.
And I'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. Is there anything else? Is there anything you want to direct people's attention to before we wrap?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just find my books and decks through your favorite bookstore.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And on the Instagram you can see all different you show cards, you show
Hmm.
beautiful demonstrations of all of your work so that people can really get a feel of what you've got on offer. And then at least the decks and the books you can probably get everywhere, but maybe it might be
Yeah.
a bit more restricted with the prints and things.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where, you can go to your website and check everything out on your website.
Yep.
Um, Perfect. Okay. Thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom and your love. that you have for animals and plants. Um, it's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it. It was really fun to chat about all this.
All your beautiful creations and what they involve and all those beautiful beings.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
special, very special. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you.
Wasn't that a beautiful conversation? I love that. It went so much longer than I thought it was going to. I would actually love to hear from you. Oh, Matilda scratched me, so I'm a bit bleeding here. I would actually love to hear from you about what you thought about the card that we pulled at the beginning in the show, which was the wolf and rose hip. How did that land for you? That theme of protector and guardianship. And like I said, it doesn't matter when you listen to this show, there's going to be probably meaning in that card for you. Um, and what did you think about her gorgeous illustrations? Like, it's just so beautiful. I really hope you enjoyed this and just felt that deep connection to nature that Jessica's work brings and Jessica brings. She really is, like I said, a steward of nature. Um, Enjoy checking out all of her beautiful offerings. Have a beautiful end of year. Thank you so much for being here. Big love to you and your animals. I will see you again soon.